This session really is what I call a come to Jesus meeting. That means you've been out there, you've been showing your work, you've been bumping into walls, you've had your pitfalls, you've had certain challenges. We have never in history, going at 45 or 60 years we've been doing art, had an educational component like this beginning to happen. Thanks to our partners, like our today, and also thank President Lewis for having us here. The awareness is changing, and we'll talk about that during this presentation. This is not personal. I'll start, so we're going to get going. We're going to have a discussion about the evolution of Black artists, the state of Black art. I want you to examine your role as an artist. It's an assessment of your commercial, whether you're a commercial artist or a fine artist. Most of us in here are commercial based, so we'll touch on both of those and demystify that part. And we'll also talk about the progression as an artist. You are one of those three, whether you want to be or not. I have to start with a little history that you may or may not know. The golden age of African American art happened between 1985 and 2000, and it was wedged between the Good Times era and the Cosby Show era. Okay? During that period of time, artists with 5 traditional norms. They made their work accessible to the masses. That's a very, very important statement right there. Okay? But they also did do community art festivals, cultural festivals, and a bunch of other ways they went directly into the community. Okay? At the peak of this era, there were probably 3,000 galleries around the United States that saw that. You can think about this. Remember, while I'm having this conversation, this was pre-social network. Very, very powerful times. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that era. If you don't know Barney Honeywood, Leroy Campbell, Charles Dibbs, Paul McKnight, you should know all those people. Annie Lee, they are part of that. Myself, are part of this movement. Okay? This movement was undocumented. It happened so fast, and it ended abruptly. We'll talk about that. Okay? Very, very important period. It also played into what's happening with the arts today. The popularity of African American artists happened for a couple of different reasons. This was it. Not since the Harlem Renaissance have artists had that much of an impact in the community and in the arts. It was the first time that artists became really self-made. It was the first time artists could make a living from this. And through this movement, they even coined a Black art genre, because prior to that, there was really like Southwest, it was Asian, it's fine. They had all these different components, but Black art really hadn't been looked at as a viable genre at that point. Okay? The diversity, equity, inclusion movement that's going on right now was a way to advocacy that has both positively and negatively affected this movement. Okay? We need to, as a group, begin to advocate for ourselves, and we need to do it independently and interdependently, because we are solo thinking beings. We get that twisted. We think that's where it's supposed to be, and it's not supposed to be. We're proving that more and more every day. Okay? But there's also an issue why there's gender pullback support for disenfranchised communities. You see it happening in the news right now, right? Okay. The diversity movement also did something else. Before that, there were African American things that we were dealing with. There was a consciousness. It was a civil rights consciousness. With the diversity movement, all of a sudden they wanted LGBTQ. Don't have a problem none of that. All the women were thrown into that batch. Black was thrown into that batch. If you look at the hierarchy, where is Black? At the bottom. That made it possible for people to discriminate to us right in our face. Okay? And so it also made us be kind of withdrawn from the action, because other groups were probably moving more faster than we were. Okay? Keep that in mind. Artist organizations are currently experiencing a cut on financial support in the arts sector. It's happening all along. It's happening more and more because the COVID, all that money y'all took when the COVID pandemic hit, and people are artists who filed for that support, All that's being cut back, especially the arts too. Does that stop our movement? No. Does that stop our intensity? No. More arts organizations now, like Arts Day, are developing a new consciousness. They are developing professional support for artists, which includes education and opportunity. This has never been happening before. Man, when I give you a state of what's happening with African American art, that is probably the biggest thing that I see happen. There are more organizations advocating for us than ever before. The problem I have with that is we have not changed one bit. If we can get more sensitized while this movement is happening, there's going to be another revolution that happens. This is specifically targeted to even African American women. You know, there's more women than men right now. Well, what do you see as a reverse in our business? More men than women. You all are going to be part of what makes that big change happen. Okay? Be fast. Some of this is going to be repetitious to you. Some of this is going to be new to you. Okay? Art is a business. You can get caught up in the art and the creativity and all that stuff if you want, but if you lose sight and this is a business, you have done yourself a severe disservice, and you will be confused and frustrated. Realize that you're selling to your, not only selling for yourself, but your customers are buying a part of you too. And see, we look at one side as artists. We're conditioned to believe that we're not validated unless people support what we do or buy our work. But we don't understand that we're also selling a piece of ourselves too. The problem becomes some of our dispositions aren't where they should be. Well, some of us are shy, some of us are withdrawn, some of us have never really put ourselves out there. We're doing a lot of things at one time. But if this is a profession for you, you have to take it just as seriously as you take other things. Okay? We still have a responsibility to continue to educate and inform. That's the baseline of what made that golden age of African American art so positive and powerful. Because during that period of time, Black people were striving to find identification and validation for ourselves. And that movement we really did achieve. We amassed a whole level of new people that were interested in art collecting. It's just an amazing amount of support that came from this period of time. But this is everything. Let's explain left brain versus right brain. Actually, we was having a discussion earlier about that. We all struggle with that. Excuse me, I got a little cough, so, but we cool, all right? We have both sides of the rainbow. We are right brain dominant. Understand that. If you read this chart among yourselves, you'll see what's happening. We're clearly on that quadrant of brain. If people are confused about which one is which, you know what it is now. That's where all these things come in, intuition, imagination, emotional intelligence, holistic thinking, interest in the arts, intentions, content, and visual skills. Look at this side over here too. Logic, sequencing, language development, thinking in words, fact checking, interest in math, scientists, and analytical skills. You have the ability to use both sides. But most of us, in our comfort zone, stay on the right side. And I'm hoping that you guys will advocate to being in the middle. And we'll talk about ways to get to that position. I'll show you another thing that's interesting. Artists on this side, our guilty galleries on this side. They may have some of that, but they're here. So they're a partnership, and if it's used properly, it's a very powerful combination. We need each other in order to make this happen. Without them and us, this would not happen. But we're only given this ability so you won't go crazy, y'all. That's it. You're not special. I hate to say it. The strongest thing I'm going to say is that we're not special. We believe and been taught and conditioned that we are. And sometimes we have the expectation of that once we go out to the world and start showing our work. And I'm telling you, no, you're not special. But you are different. Okay? We feel the world differently, sure. That's why it shows up in our work. But to demystify art and why you're doing it, that's why he gave it to you. Gives you a chance to communicate a different way, process things. He knew we would need that, probably that more murders would be happening in the United States. He also did not like an attempt for you to do artists to create for themselves. That's a misconception. I believe that this complete circle of creativity is made for you to share what people. That's what it's intended for. And until you do that, you're really only exercising half of the creative circle. Okay? So remember that line right there when you're getting frustrated and all that. That's part of your responsibility is getting your work. It educates, it does some things that you don't have to do. Share your work by any means necessary. Understanding you are a commodity. Well, I mean, you are a place of value, you are valuable. But the flip side of this is you exist in a consignment environment. What does that mean? Most of you all are handing your work to somebody to sell, and you're waiting for them to give you money in exchange for the work. That means you are putting thousands and thousands of dollars in galleries right now, and they depend on that for survival. Very few dealers and galleries are buying work. So you understand that. The power is not the other way around, the power is within you, and until you realize what you're doing, you govern yourself different. Remember what I said, when you drop that inventory off, it represents a certain amount. If you don't have value in yourself, have value in your work, understanding you are a commodity. It is a partnership, an irreparable partnership. But you gotta play your part, or you become subservient to the whole system. Okay, a lot of mistakes happen there. You also need to understand percentage splits. Part of this new wave of artist support is reflected in your percentage. When I was coming along, everything was 50-50. Everything was 50-50. You know what I said? 50-50. I don't care what you price it, whether you price it enough or didn't price it enough. It was 50-50. Now galleries and organizations are giving you a 70-30 opportunity. First time this ever happened in the 45 years we've been in business. So I don't want you guys to think, excuse me for not being correct with pronouns, I'm old school, I don't need to insult anybody, but I don't want you to think that 30-70 is regular for all of us. If you build that into your system now, you will be forever damaged. Know that the standard is 50-50. Where did that standard come from? Well, if you own a gallery, you got overhead, you pay employees, all that kind of stuff, you do advertising, you're doing all this other representation, it's a 50-50 exchange. Yes, it should be 50-50. But there's also one in the middle, and that's 60-40. A guy like me has been doing this for 46 plus years, and if a guy comes to me and say, hey, it's 50-50, I can say, no, you can be 40-60-40. I have leverage because I've been around for a little bit. It's also a space for you to negotiate. You don't have to do 50-50. You can decide whether you leave in your work because who is the commodity? Now, I'm not saying have attitude. I'm not saying be arrogant, but there's room for negotiation after you learn to value yourself. This is still the best time in history to be an artist, all the tools and technical advances that are real today. If you fail today because you want to. It's that simple. Here are a couple of questions to consider. These are going to move fast. You don't have to have the answer right now, but most of you already know what your answer is. Who are you? Are you an artist? Google yourself and be aware of your digital twin. I'll break that down for you. I did a radio show for 2 years where I interviewed women and men artists. Guess who had a struggle calling themselves an artist first? Women. It was almost unanimous. Every story started with that. I didn't realize I was an artist. Okay. Very, very important question. When I start mentoring my artists, that's the first question I ask them. And most of them are afraid to get nervous just talking about something. That's a really important starting point. Now, if you're in this room already past that, fine. This is for people who are entry level. Okay? Do you want to see how valuable you are? Google yourself. Go home tonight and Google yourself. Sit down with a cup of coffee and just look. If you don't find yourself, there's something wrong. I don't care if you just start, and there should be something on you because we're living in a social environment. But Google yourself. It'll show you all the things that you are and all the things that you are. Okay? Important person. Be aware that you have a digital twin. What that means is that in a social environment, you have yourself, your persona, the way you look, the way you act. Things are important to you. That social environment should be a mirror image of what you are. And if your social networking is not, then your goal is to make sure that you and your digital twin are at least in a similar position. You might want to show less pictures of you partying in the club, because that might give somebody another perception of you. But if you're an artist, your pages right now should be heavily about art. It's that simple. You'd be surprised how many people don't make that connection, who don't put their work on, because we'll talk about that later on with the headache. But be aware of your digital twin. It's something we never had to deal with before. And I don't think many other people are actually talking to you about that. Are you off the grid? Are you a hobbyist? You've never exhibited? Or are you an inspiring artist? How many people feel like you're one of those people? Just raise your hand just so I can get an idea. Okay. How many of those hands have sold something? Then you're not on that list anymore. You just don't know it. Once you sell something, you are now a professional. You might not be a good one, but you are a professional. So for those of you that think you are a hobbyist, I want you to understand. At one point, I thought that artists were 5 out of 20. That's how special I thought we were. And then social networking came out, and I realized it was probably 12 out of 20. Because you have people who are hobbyists, you have people that are off the grid, that are creating just as much as you guys do. And they're not in here. You don't see them. Okay? Think about that. Powerful. Are you emerging artists, mid-career, or established artists? How many believe you're emerging? Raise your hands real quick. How many think you're mid-career? Okay, and how many think you are established? Okay. Now, this rule changes if you're in the fine art realm. I am an established artist in the commercial realm. In the fine art realm, I would be looked at as mid-career. Why? I'm 60, still young. Okay? There's still room for development and growth. And I'm not quite dead yet. Because when the fine art realm, it changes because they really promote artists that are no longer alive. Remember that. Know what level you're on, because you have to know your level in order to go to the next level. Some of you are going to age out. For instance, a person could just start their business and they're 70 years old, and they will have to perceive it as if they were an established artist. If you know that and you work that with your marketing, it could be a shortcut. Ageism is alive and well, and art means something different. So you need to study where you are to make a game plan for what is next. The main thing is not to be that slide before. Most of y'all, by showing up here, had to find that slide before this. Are you commercial artist? Are you on a commercial artist trajectory or a fine artist trajectory? Most of you in this room are on a commercial art trajectory. The difference between the two is we cater to customers, we paint what we like, you know, we're really concentrating on selling. We are accessible to the masses. Fine art is different. They're not peddling phone cases, and they're doing works that mean a little more than what we might be inspired to paint. Okay? They're not accessible to the masses. And usually they have a rep or other people in front of them. Okay? It's a different world. We are two different gangs that don't respect each other. We don't like each other, and we're confused by each other. I know some artists that have been successful at doing both. I'll give you one name. It's called Midnight. Doing both is very, very difficult. Are you full-time or part-time? Who are all my part-time people? Raise your hand. All my full-time people, raise your hands. Okay. Do you think one of these is better than the other? What do you think?
I think full-time is better than part-time.
Why?
Really put yourself into the art. More time.
Right. Anybody else? How about my workers? To me, there is no difference. What matters to me is your discipline level. If you are a part-time artist and you're making money from a job, then you don't have the same stresses as the person who's doing full-time, who have to grind for every dollar. Are there pluses and negatives for each one? Yes. You also have to align it with your personality. There is no one-size-fits-all for artists. And when I mentor artists, I take the time to find out who you are and what you're trying to do first before I talk about what you should be doing next. Okay? So, no, one has advantages. Like he said, if you're doing this full-time, your skin is a little thicker. Okay? Your desire might be a little stronger. You probably won't have as much problems defining who you are, where you could be torn if you are working for an establishment. Okay? Think about that. Because some of you are doing very, very well. Teachers really are the worst ones with doing part-time. Because they're working with children and the children are taking their energy and they're not creating. If you're a teacher, you have to be creative. Or those kids you'll have the feeling that you're accomplishing what you're supposed to, but you won't. Are you self-taught? How many in here are self-taught? How many here are self-taught? Now you might be surprised to see my hand up. I went to the Maryland Institute College of Art for 4 years, but I've been drawing and painting since I was 4. My father had been drawing and painting since he was 4. You hear what I'm saying? Acknowledge your DNA. Stop hyping the fact that you're self-taught. If you're one of those artists in this room, is the first thing you say is I'm self-taught. Get off that bandwagon. Because when you do that, you're saying God's not present. You're not accepting the fact that you're a vessel and you were given this ability. It gives you escape to be able to talk a certain way. And I know some artists who do it so readily that I just want to pluck them in the throat, but we're not going to talk about that right now. That is miseducation. There is no such thing. When I went to Africa the first time, I saw a lot of stuff I had been painting my whole life, and I thought they was copying my work. They see, that's the ego. After a while, you start seeing the ego show up. Acknowledge it. My father was also an artist, but who knows how many generations of it. My mother used to draw little sketches on the table. We never called her an artist. We used to say, I'm not both of you. My son is painting. Okay. How do you sign the work and where? So very important. This is the foundation of your brand. How many of you don't sign your work on the front? Problem. You non-signers on the front are problems. Because usually when you're not signing on the front, you sign on the back end. When people have to identify your work, what are they going to look for first? Signature. Think about that. Think about that. Oh, and you know something else? You paint marker generation. Most of y'all can't paint y'all signature. I can paint my signature on any size, any kind of fabric, any kind of material. Learn how to paint your signature and stop relying on paint markers. It's about uniformity. Some of y'all come to the shows, I see y'all got 4 or 5 signatures already. Some of you have elaborate logos, look like graffiti artists. Yeah, you could brand that. You're talking to a dude named Poncho. If a dude named Poncho can sell his work, any of y'all can sell your work. But I need you to understand what you're doing because you're making work harder for yourself over time. You never know. How do you currently market yourself, as a company or an artist? Sometimes you get clever and you go under the company name for a while, but you feel comfortable, gives you a veil of security to be a company. And then you market yourself for 10 years and then realize when people Google you, they're going to Google what? Your name. So I'm not saying don't have a company name. I said don't push that name too far ahead of you. Have your own identity. Do you currently have a business card or a digital card? How many of y'all got a business card? Be honest, come on, y'all. How many of you got a digital card? Fantastic. You'd be surprised how many times I go and people don't have either. Digital card is really it. For those of you who's technically challenged, a digital card can put your all of your information in one spot in a blink of an eye. So it seems elementary, right? It's not. Do you have a website? Do you own all the web addresses that contain derivatives of your name? Very, very crucial. Guess what, y'all? I just did a big project at the Baldwin Inner Harbor where we got over 100 applicants. And guess what? It's the one thing that was missing for most of the applicants. Website. Okay, I don't understand that. If you're sitting in this room and you don't have a website, I have to go back to the brain chart because that means there's damage somewhere. How do you think you can be an entity in the 21st century without a website? How can you talk about any other investment when the website is the most powerful investment you could ever make? And technology has made it so easy now that if you have the fortitude to build your own website, you could. There was a time when webmasters were thieves. They would talk to you, get you to pay them, they would have you sign a contract, they would manage your stuff, you would pay monthly, you wouldn't even have control of your own site, your own passwords, everything. It's kind of hard to do that now unless you're just slow. Wix, all these other programs are excellent programs for people that have control issues, most of us do. Okay? But I have Shopify. Shopify is a store. And they have a whole bunch of things that support me, things that I don't even know about. And when I moved from WordPress to Wix to Shopify, my confirmation was my first day after putting my Shopify site up, I did an order for $800. So the universe was telling me, okay, you made the right move. I'm not saying that all of you are ready for a Shopify account. But you should have a website. If you don't, please, this is a business. Only the derivatives of your name is important too. How much is a website? How does it cost to secure a web name? Huh?
15 a month.
Yeah. No, it's 15 for a year. Usually, if you get it right, go to GoDaddy. I say GoDaddy, and I'm not working with GoDaddy. But what I do know is that if you put your get your names through GoDaddy, it's easier for you to connect that to other sites than it would be in another setting, where you got to go through with those certain codes to get it moved to another location. GoDaddy pretty much makes it easy. How many of you have, my company holders, have the company name secured? How many of you have your own name secured? And why wouldn't you own both? Well, that's what happens is that this means, well, we're going to get to that, but that's a real factor. She said that somebody has it. Liz Miller is a very, very common one. Larry Brown is very common. If I don't use Poncho, I get lost in it. Okay? You know what it is. When you Google yourself, you'll find out too. I have a guy I'm working with right now, elderly guy. His name is Patrick McGuire. I went to look up Patrick McGuire's Google search, found out one Patrick McGuire is a serial killer. So he has to use his middle initials to separate himself from all the Patrick McGuire's got. I mean, can you imagine having that problem? You're trying to brand yourself. Your name's been gone years ago because you weren't sensitized. So, but you'd be surprised how many times I talk to artists and they haven't secured the name. Very, very 10 is $15. I don't care if you think you're going to do something. Secure the name. Hold it for a year. If you're not going to use it, you can let it go. Sometimes you got to invest in yourself. And this is a form of investing in yourself. Do you use social media? Which ones do you use? What is your current reach? And at the bottom it says know your numbers. How many of you have Facebook? How many of you have Instagram? How many have Twitter? How many have TikTok? How many have LinkedIn? There's several others depending on your generation. Who is considered old geezers? The old geezer platform now?
Facebook.
Facebook. These don't even want to mess with. But where is your demographic hiding? On Facebook. Facebook is very valuable if you're of a certain age. Okay? If you're not going to have one, have at least Facebook and Instagram. Okay? When I say what is your current reach, you all got numbers. 150. Some of y'all got 95. I like the 95 because that means don't scrutinize to get in. Not everybody showing you at my front door. No, it's not like that. It's about numbers. So you let everybody in. They're not going to show up on your porch. Okay? Those numbers mean something because if you can take those numbers and turn them into email addresses, you have customer base built into those sites that you may be activating and may not be able to activate just yet. How many of you had tapped out your personal page of 5,000? Raise your hand. We got one person who's tapped out. You can only do 5,000. How many have a personal and a business Facebook page? Do you know the numbers of the two? And if you don't know the numbers of the two, you should know the numbers of the two. You need to combine those numbers to see what your possible reach might be.
Let me see the numbers.
When you you got friends. How many friends you got?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's basically what. Okay, but I want you to know your numbers because a lot of people don't. You currently use email marketing. How many people are on your list? How often do you send emails? How many of you have an email marketing plan or program? Raise your hand real high, please. Look around, y'all. What's that half a hand for? I don't know what the half a hand is. I don't know what this location is yet. That means I got it, but I ain't using it.
There you go.
Okay. I got you. Oh, we got two. That's a lot of people. There's two of y'all use email marketing. Okay, I'm in the game for you. Email marketing, social networking, website. Which one is most important? Excuse me? Email. Which one is last? Your website. Your website is like your home address in relation to the earth. Okay? That's how busy it is. Okay? So you got to be mindful of what these things do, what they can do for you, whether you use them, don't use them. We are artists. Most of us are the most antisocial people. It's right brain society. We got our problems. I'm the worst social person, but I am excellent with social networking. Okay? I'm the most antisocial social networker you would. You'd be surprised by how much coverage I get online. Do you document every creation? Do you use Excel, Word, or other software? Very, very, very important slide right here. How many of you document every creation? Look around, class. There's 2 hands in here. Okay, I'm gonna make it easier. 3. 4. That is so crucial when you document all of your work because it makes you understand the value of what you're doing, how much work you're creating. There's so much information, and you immediately tap into left brain activity once you do something like that. And we want to do as much left brain activity as we can. So documenting your creations is one of them. It's so very, very important. It's about history. Okay? Do you use Excel or Word? How many people here use Excel or Word? Raise your hand. Okay, so that's just by everybody in the room. So I'm asking how many of you are using another software to document your work? Okay, now I don't have a problem with that. Whatever software you're using is great, but I need you to understand this. Everybody's not going to be able to use your platform. When you submit to a show, unless that platform will convert it into these two forms, Word and Excel sheet, then you're going to get stuck. And the people are going to have time to sort out your stuff. What's going to happen? You get moved for the stuff that's present. Okay? Those two programs are very, very important. It's those basic essentials for organizing. If you don't know those two programs, you should be using them. Important. Do you use your cell phone or camera to shoot your images? And are they professionally done? Everybody got a camera. How many of y'all use your cell phone to shoot your photograph right now? Raise your hand high, please.
But I'm doing both though.
It is a wonderful tool, don't get me wrong. All my Apple people go, wait right now, my resolution is higher. What happened to a good old fashioned camera? Y'all know y'all can buy a 35mm camera for a fraction of the cost of the phone, and it has higher pixels, and it will be able to shoot video. Everybody should own a 35mm camera. Everybody. Has an automatic setting. If you're unsure about how to use it, put it on it's a green setting on the top, set it on the green setting, shoot it outside when it's overcast day on the easel, and you can document. If you're going to do that, do it right. Buy a tripod, use the self-timer. Why? When you shoot it with your hand, what happens? You get shakes. When you put it on a tripod on a timer, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it's motionless. So if you're going to use your phone, use it right. But I'm imploring you to treat yourself to a 35mm camera that has video capabilities. Okay? How many of you are getting any photography professionally done? Great, great. I use professional photographers all the time, and I am a professional photographer. Think about it. Do you currently have a YouTube channel? How many of y'all got a YouTube channel here? YouTube is so powerful, y'all. Every video you put on YouTube will show up in your search engine when you put your name in the Google yourself. That's how powerful YouTube is. Okay? Just make sure you sex me up on it, because you won't find it. Have you ever done a live broadcast on your social network channels? How many of you done live broadcast before? Okay, that's good. This is today's technology. When the COVID pandemic hit, Zoom was a corporate application that most of us didn't even know about. It fell down into consumer hands. And that revolution alone changed everything. From people working at home and other things. It's a very powerful set of media to utilize. If you don't have a YouTube channel, you should, because video media, you're collecting it and where's it sitting? Your phone, your desktop. Are you featured on Wikipedia? How many of y'all featured on Wikipedia? Now, I'm going to tell you something about Wikipedia. I don't care if you like it or don't like it. I don't care how you feel about Wikipedia. Wikipedia is an online encyclopedia that validates entities. The best $750 I ever spent was to hire a company to do a Wikipedia page for me. When people now search for me, I am a viable entity, whether every line in that posting is a lie. Okay? Because some things get through as good, some things get through as bad. If you murder somebody, it's going to show up. You got librarians and archivists that build that system, so no, you can't go home and write your best thing and do Wikipedia. That's not how it works. You have to hire a firm that's in that establishment that speaks that language that will put that in. It takes sometimes maybe 3 to 6 months for it to migrate. But it was the best $750 I ever invested in the promotion of me? Do you participate in artist talks, panel discussions, or public speaking? How many of you? I see a smile on her, but I'm not going to laugh at this person. This person told me that they went to an art talk, but they didn't get it. I don't even like it. Okay, but all of you in this room need to be prepared to talk about what you do. You have to do this. And most of you are really intimidated by panel discussions or just public speaking. Everybody's. But why do you have a problem with public speaking? I tell you the trick. When you're talking about something you know, yeah, you're going to be nervous, but you have a source. And until you're brave enough to talk about that source, then you're not participating. It's everybody's responsibility to do that. You were supposed to get over that in high school and junior high school. They made you get up in front of the class and do your report. Now, I don't know how good that report was, but you've grown now. You got a lot more to say. You've been through a lot more things. Just get up and talk. You do it in church. Yeah. Do you participate in podcasts and blogs? How many of you do that? How many of you been invited to do it and didn't do it? Please utilize that as another powerful medium that was never available to us. And then people and everybody and their mama got a podcast now. What's how we look at the time?
It's 15.
Okay. I'm gonna get a break after the first time. Any chance you get to do a blog or video or a podcast, do it. What it's going to do is going to get you acclimated to talking about yourself, because most of y'all hate talking about yourself. Okay, you don't believe half the stuff you say. I call it lies and propaganda. I just have fun with it. Because I get past my nervousness if I do that. If I get too serious about myself, I will never be able to speak. But once I realize I'm speaking about something that I know, the nervousness is going to run out of you as soon as you start talking. But you have to practice this. It's not going to come as a skill set. Do you submit articles to local papers, tabloids, magazines? How many people do that? We're in a powerful time back in the day. They would dispatch a reporter. They would dispatch a photographer to come and see you, but you had to at least be interested enough for them to do that. Now we got so many media sources out here now. All you gotta do is write a story, send them a photograph, and send it, and it gets migrated like you could have gotten migrated before. So if you're not getting ink and press, you can create your own press. Do you have an active schedule of art shows, art events, and exhibitions? Most of you should. The part-timers might have a problem with that. If you are between 20 and 45, you need to be showing. If you're 55 to 65, you need to be slowing down and figure out some other ways to market yourself. If you are over that, this is not the place to find out. This is not the place for you. When you got to load a truck, you got to plan for a week, and goes to all anxiety, bills doesn't show, it's taxing. But my artists that are in their 20s, I tell them, kill it. Kill it hard. Kill it till you're about 45. By then, you shouldn't have to do it. There's a thing called entering your season. All the efforts that you put in right now, at some point, it's supposed to benefit you later in your career. I'm at that point now. When I'm entering my season, I'm 62, and it only happens at 65, 68. Where all of the things you've done kind of fold back and opportunities start coming towards you. Okay? You're preparing no matter what level you're on for your season. If you started late in life, then that concept might not apply to you. But I've watched Annie Lee start at 55 years old, 50 years old, and become the top artist in the country. Top female artist in the country. And she defies all of those labels about what level she's on. So there are some special circumstances. You got to know who you are. I have a friend right now, most of you probably know Alba. Roberts is in a position to do that. She came in late. She's got good work, very visible, very connected. She will appear to be an established artist by default. It could be an advantage. How many arts organizations are you affiliated with? Do you think you need to do that? No, but it's a question, because if you're affiliated with Black Arts Today, that's one, but how many others can you do? What an organization would do is providing future opportunities that you would not be able to get yourself. But you got to be ready for that. We'll talk about that in the next section. Do you have multiple payment portals for accepting payments? Both, by now, all of you should. When I first started this, you had to have credit, you had to go get a terminal, you had to pay the terminal, you had to pay for the machine, you had to pay percentages. It was rough. And then it was racist, so you couldn't get a machine for a long time. Now, all of that's obsolete. Hey, you got Venmo, you got Cash App, you got PayPal, you got Stripe, you got Square, you got all these things that take 5 minutes to set up. You should have all of them, or as many of them as possible. I even have the little swipe machine you can use, welfare card. I'm just kidding. I'm working on that right now. Do you have a wellness regimen? This was important, y'all. What happens to right-brained people? I'm always susceptible to depression. Nobody told me that. I've always saw it, never could diagnose it. I saw it in my artist friends. I couldn't put my finger on it. But now we have an open discussion about mental health. It's just as important in arts as is anywhere else. But you get your therapy, right? That's the advantage of being an artist. Okay? Depression is real. Are you currently being mentored by another artist? And are you mentoring in return? How many of you are being mentored by an artist? Raise your hand high. How many of you are mentoring another artist? Raise your hand high. In the future, I want both sets of hands to be up. Model yourself after somebody. Ask for help. Artists, we are the most hip, dysfunctional group of cousins. When we do it right, we grow exponentially. We've been taught that we have to be isolated as individuals. That is not true. Artists are now becoming small marketing firm hybrids. You now must have the experience with use photography, video, writing, and promotion to be seen and heard. That has never happened in history. Well, you were responsible for all those things at one time. When that movement was going on, we only had to do one thing. That's be an artist. So y'all carry more hats now than you ever did. You just don't know it. Understand what you're doing, you have a better value and appreciation for what you're trying to do. Very, very important. That first sentence, remember that. You're doing more than just painting. You're responsible for doing more than just painting. You're responsible for the promotion of your work as well. You want to take a break? You want to, where are we looking? How many minutes are we into?
It's 3:58.
Okay. We go through these kind of quick. 10 ideas that all artists have in common. This is just the part that's equalizing momentum with love of your own. Okay? While artists are diverse and unique, you've already read that, there's some things that are very in common with all of us. That's what makes us that fun, dysfunctional family of cousins. Such artists have a unique and creative perspective. They bring new ideas, approaches, and fresh ways of seeing the world through their work. Creativity ties us all together. That's what makes us a family. That's our bloodline right there. Passion and dedication. Artists are passionate about their craft. They dedicate time, effort, and energy to creating meaningful art. That's all of us do, right? I'm just trying to let y'all know why we are alike and how we should uphold this stuff. Discipline and hard work requires consistent effort, a work ethic, and refined work is what we all do. Practice makes perfect, but I do that some of you are not working enough. You're getting so caught up, we're so distracted nowadays that we have 10 times the things to process than I did when we were coming through that movement I was talking about earlier. You are distracted just by having your phone. It's disrupting some of this stuff, but as a principle, That's who we are. Curiosity and exploration are some curious beings. They explore different techniques, mediums, subjects to expand their artistic horizons. That's what we do, y'all. You ain't just piping. You ain't just pouring. You ain't just abstracting. This is what we do. Resilience and persistence. The art world is a dog-eat-dog business, always has been, and probably even more today. It is not a kind business. And that's why we have to unify as artists, and we have to unify as organizations to fight some of the stuff that's happened, because many things have happened in the art industry to build an era of distrust. And artists come to the table with that distrust anyway. Self-expression and authenticity, that's what you're supposed to be doing. It's all about self-expression. When we were coming up, I'm a baby boomer, so I wasn't allowed to think and be. I had to learn how to do that. Youngsters come here with that information. It's a whole different ballgame. Your younger artists are braver than your older artists because they don't care. We are probably more cautious than they are. And we laugh at them a little bit because they're so confused. But don't get it twisted. Fear slows you down. Continuous learning and growth is what we all should be doing. If you are at a certain point in your career and you believe that you have acquired all you need to acquire, then you are not an artist. Be something else. You will be learning something to lead this planet. The more life skills you get, the more you learn about the business, the more people you're exposed to, you're going to become a very enriched and in tune individual. That's what this thing is about, growth and learning. Risk-taking experiments. Some of you are complacent, but great artists take risks. They experiment with new styles. I didn't say steal style. I say experiment with new styles, techniques, and concepts. We have a lot on our plate, right? Before I do the second session, I want you to know what we're all about. We're not having this discussion amongst ourselves. And we're all going through the same thing. Hopefully you see yourself reflected on this wall. Observation and sensitivity, well, we are very sensitive beings, and sometimes an emotional thing gets in the way. We are vessels, y'all. I don't take credit for my art. I am simply a vessel. I get out of the way and I create and I get my therapy. But guess what? I learn how to sell it. Two different things. And you'll be doing the same thing. Connection to community is very, very important. Successful artists build networks. They connect with other artists, galleries, and collectives. But most of you are not connected with this one right here. It's right in your face. You're scared to ask the artist what he's doing. If you file for a grant, you need to send it to 10 people. If you learn something new, you keep it to yourself. We got to change that. I said the industry is changing, but we're not. And we're going to take a break before we get to the artist's top fails. I'm going to come back. Right? Take a little break.
5, 10 minutes.
You want to go 10 minutes?
10 minutes. No.
No, yeah, 5 minutes. Anybody got any questions about the first half? Anybody got any questions? Don't be scared.
You were saying how we did the artists have changed. One of the things for me.
How do you suggest we find a mentor?
We find what?
A mentor.
A mentor. Find a mentor.
Well, you want to see somebody you like, and you ask them. You say, hey, be my mentor. Women, y'all got it tougher because they're going to say, hey, I'm mentoring you. So you got to be real clear about what you're asking. Well, how many have talked to artists you like? I mean, like I like your mom's work. I like so many people's work. We're already kind of, it's just one other veil in between that. Like, she's one of my mentees. She came to a show, we talked. I'm not showing you how to color and paint and draw circles and stuff. But she has a common problem, and I understand. I can't push that woman, but she can push me down the floor. But she can bring questions to me, and I can demystify those questions because I know her personality type. And so mentorship is really just that. It's a relationship building thing. It's an area of trust, and you just got to be able to put yourself out there. Any other questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Eli.
How do you distinguish like clearly between emerging and mid-career?
Emerging to me means somebody who just got into the game and learning how to do something really probably haven't shown that much. They don't have a lot of experience in it. That's for me what I would consider. Mid-career is somebody that's been doing it for a minute, they've shown a little bit, they've got a little reputation with Google and stuff, they can find something. Emerging may not find that. It changes. Age groups change too. You know, so if you're 50 years old, you might feel like you're established, but what does established mean? You know, when you Google yourself, you go find out what you're established.
That's why
you might get humble and realize
the other way.
I'm a hometown favorite.
I'm 50.
Right.
And perhaps I fall in the big career, I feel like an emerging.
You're not an emergent. You're clearly Levi.
You're in galleries,
You're
you're selling work, you're not
emergent.
emerging.
You're probably one of the better artists in this world. So you're not emergent. Let's just get rid of that. Are you mid-career? Probably mid-career, and your break is to get you established. Your work is already established.
Hey, Poncho,
Yes.
I had a question in the chat.
Yes.
What type of content do you suggest we post on a YouTube channel?
Any and everything. It could be, if it's art related, whatever you, if you didn't document it by video, it didn't happen. So if you're doing a workshop, put that on, do an interview, put that on there. Most podcasts now have a video component. Always ask for content when you do content. So if somebody do something to you, ask for the content as a trade-off. They may not pay you for that coverage, but you are in line to ask that content and post that content wherever you want. So I get everybody's content no matter what I'm doing. Hope I answered the question.
Question right here.
Yes.
What do you mean content?
The online environment, okay, I'll simplify it. Every time you post something on your Facebook page, that's content. Whether it's you saying a quote, you posting a picture, or sharing a video, that's content, all those content. Now what happens when you start to specialize in what you're putting on, especially with regard to art, because of the way you're saying you're a hobbyist, so that means you're not showing your artwork on your page. Coming out of the closet has more than one implication. And many of us need to come out of the closet. Yes, sir, Levi.
I'm sorry, I didn't solve that question.
No, it's no problem. It's beautiful. Yes.
You mentioned that you would invest in say, with the media.
Yes. Don't get ripped off, though. Because some of them are trying to get for it.
That's part of my question. Like, say for instance, you have, you're not going to talk with the people, but this is something art style.
They don't go by it. What they do is what I asked you to do in the first slide. Google yourself. And content will come up. Might be videos, might be an article you did with these 12th grade. As long as something comes up on you, you are in, they can validate. Right. So if you don't have no articles up there, no newspaper articles in particular, because they really buy on newspaper and magazine media. So your YouTube may not take precedence over those two things. That's why I asked you to submit your own articles, because that's another great big content for that. Okay, so it's a strategy for is getting recognized more, but you got to sit down and do a baseline search of how well you're covered online first. The Googling thing is important. Any other questions? Anybody need to stretch your legs? Get up, stretch your legs, do something, drink water. There's water back there, please. Take it. Say it again. No, I'm gonna got some up here. Please stretch your legs so you can be ready for this next
Get
session.
a snack.
How was your vacation?
It was very good.
You need to find out what your name is. You need to do that now. See, you can use first name, you can use both names, you can use a synonymous name, you can use a logo. I mean, you know, you can just figure out whatever you figure out is going to take some time until you jump in, so you can make sure it's consistent from that to the yeah, whatever you use it, because what happens is that at the beginning of the day, you might have 5 or 6 different signatures that don't really need much justice. Am I saying that you use your full name? No, I'm not saying that. But whatever you lock it into, you better do it, and you better try not to do a company name representation. That on the side. But that's the same thing. Now, there might be a process you might Google that and find something. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you what happens.
Right, so it's the transition.
It's not about transitioning really so much as figuring out what the identity is going to be and that's your move. Even companies like McDonald's, Pepsi, Coke, all of them, maybe guys that look over the 20 years. So updating something fine, they kind of we can do the same. So once you do it, that's it. Yes, sir.
As when they go up to the art, install the one name, you come to the legalization or the other name.
That's a good choice because we do go like I have 3 African labels and then I have Poncho. I've been branded Poncho for 40 years, so I'm not likely going to break out and start doing one of my African names. I might experiment with a series of work under my African name just to do something different. But all of my marketing is around my name. And Poncho really is a synonymous name, y'all. When I say synonymous, it's not on none of my legal documents, nowhere. It is truly a name. My real name is Larry O'Neill Brown Jr. I said my father was an artist and he was Larry O'Neill Brown. That's hard enough already trying to separate from him. So it's easy for me to start using Poncho to break that up. Larry Brown is also a very common name. It's 1,000 of them, but Larry Poncho Brown. And then because I've done so much marketing on Larry Poncho Brown, even if you use Poncho Brown, it's probably still going to connect to that name.
Got a question in the chat from Sharon Nixon.
Yes.
Could you speak more of the age groups as it pertains to artists? And what if the 50-plus person is young-minded and up with the trends? How does that pair up?
At the end of the day, it's not about your age. It's about your work. It's about the sophistication of your work. And it's about how much time you've had to actually showcase your work and share your work. And so if you haven't had enough time to share your work, even if you started late, a person that starts early is naturally going to have more time to cultivate that. A person starting late won't. If you're young and vivacious 50, because 50 is like 30 nowadays, just stay focused and work. But I can tell you that that person is asking probably doesn't have enough work. Because my thing is you got to still be some level of prolific no matter when you come in. Alma Roberts, say what you want to say, she's very prolific. When she does her work, she's laying it down. And she's getting out of her way. To me, it all comes down to how much work you create and where it's being shown. Y'all took a short break. You ready to go? All right, we'll get back to it, y'all. Top artist fails. Some of y'all not gonna like this section. want to see yourself. I have your picture of you. Poor submissions, low image quality, untitled slides, embedded documents. Why, if you are an image maker, why would you submit a low resolution image? I don't understand. Oh, I didn't want people to see it. No, get over that. You have no reason to put low resolution images up for anything. It serves you no purpose. Watermarks, what about watermarks? You know what? I have been doing this for 40 years. I'm not worried about watermarks. It doesn't stop anybody from doing anything. Really. Okay? Untitled slides. If you submit to a show, say they do a call and you send all your stuff, then theirs different because they're organized. But if you're sending a photo file and you don't have the title as a photo file, and you got an image number,
Happens.
see, that means you think about you. You ain't thinking about nobody else. We're supposed to keep up with that. So not only did you have your image with an image number, your headshot. Same thing, image number, no name. How you want to have a headshot with no name? I don't get that. That just takes 5 minutes. And I don't care what level you're on. Look, stop that. It's the things we're doing is just tacky. Take the time to type those things up. Make yourself a submission folder. And everything you submit for is from that folder. Once you format it, it's in that folder. Don't mix your junk, your high res, your low res. It's a mess. I can only imagine what y'all computers look like. Once you start organizing, what do you activate again, y'all? Left brain. But I'm going to tell y'all this trifling. That one right here is trifling. There's no place for that. Embedded images. Okay, you were convenient, so you know how to design. You did a PDF, you had your photograph in there, you got your bio in there, you got all your stuff in there, and then you send it. But then when they need to move it to something else, they can't activate it. So it benefited you, but it didn't benefit the people you were sending it to. So yeah, you took the time to do that, but you weren't thinking about everybody having access and being able to utilize that information. That is so crucial. Yes, ma'am.
Let me add to the low image quality untitled. Do not send photos of all the stuff that's in the background.
No. Don't get ahead of me. Don't get ahead of my presentation. No, I did this section for you.
Okay.
And I think I covered most of it.
There we go. Yes.
Okay. She took the time to shoot it, but look at it. It's outside. She got 4 her neighbors' houses in the picture. It's not on. It's on an angle. It's not even in the light. She's got the light behind it. I ain't gonna talk about it. It might be that's a great side. I have no idea. But what is the point? These are actual pictures that people have sent me. I don't even know where she was. She's in the woods somewhere. Y'all laughing because some of y'all doing the same crap. Stop. Get a white ball. Do something. This is not acceptable. Some of you are not jurying well or are surviving the jury process because of those things. If you submit against another person and their stuff is not together and your stuff is together, have we talked about the content of it? No. They're going to go to the ones that clear it. If they're doing a promotional package and they want to grab some images to use the promotion, and yours got a apartment behind it, and then the other one is clean, which one are they going to use for promotions? So you get bumped from promotions because you didn't format your stuff right. Then you'll be saying stuff like, well, you know, they don't want to use my work. Stop it. When you clear that stuff up, it's done. And then you're being professional. That's all I'm asking is to be professional. It's hard enough. You got people out here trying to promote you. You're trying to promote yourself, and then you're doing stuff that's crazy. You can't do that. This is, come on, you gotta be real. Poor framing, stuff, scratches, dents, no wire and hardware, cheap framing, formatted, and scar tooth. This right here, oh my God. I just made an event where 400 pieces came in, and I've been to say that 75 of those pieces came with no wires. That's right, you done, you want to use one of them. How does that happen, y'all? I know we're busy, we moving. Well, how do you, okay, scratches and dents. How do you let scratches and dents out your house? How do you do that? Now, you want somebody to buy art that's in the frame, but yeah, you think it's going to slide. Sometimes we stick with stuff together on site. If you're that bad, buy stretch canvas and paint stretch canvas for the rest of your life. But if you want to deal with framing, you got to do it right. Matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do a seminar. I'm going to post some frames so they can cut you out. Because that's ridiculous. I don't understand that. The one that gets me the most is the sheet frame. Okay. You go to IKEA, you get that plastic frame, it's got that little drill on the back, or it might have this sawtooth mounts, there's a little jagged thing that you hammer into. What the hell is happening, y'all? Some of y'all get away with it. I ain't point you out.
Levi.
If you don't laugh, but these are corrections you need to change now. Stop it. Just stop it. Nobody's looking at you and say, stop it. They haven't looked at you and say, take that stuff home. In your feelings if you all hurt. They compensate like I did. I'm sitting there wiring 75 pieces. And I'm cussing you out. No identification on the rear of your artwork. Label it or QR code. Come on, y'all. You bring a piece, you participate, and it's an opportunity. You bring it in. It might be signed on the front. On the back, you ain't got a title. You ain't got no identification on the back of the piece. And they got 300 pieces to show. It's not about you. Once you trace hands, it has to be able to be moved around and identified. Take the time. That means a label should be on the back. If you showed it before, that label to go in the trash, take that label and stick it in the back. I don't care if you got 20 labels on the back. It's better than 0. Another thing y'all doing is y'all ain't dating your stuff. So now when she sends and then she put a date column, y'all looking stupid and making up dates. Sound familiar? Because once you get your therapy, and once you sign that piece, your brain won't forget. You are not going to be able to remember the year you created the piece. And if you're being prolific, how many times did y'all submit something to a show and y'all bring something that y'all didn't submit? What the hell? Okay, I'm getting hit on this. For consignment documentation and no inventory sheet. So now I told you we're in consignment business. Y'all bring me to work with, you hand it to somebody. Y'all don't have no paperwork. Y'all don't have no contract. And it ain't got to be no legalese. It could be, I'm giving you 7 pieces, these are titles, these are the values, sign. That's simple, y'all. Come on. You got to have your own paperwork. Suppose you got 4 consignments going at one time, and how you going to keep track? Some of y'all, like I know one person who's consigning more. He got stuff in probably about 12 places and probably can't keep up with it. Because we are a what business? A consignment business. If you don't know that, and if you think, you better learn that's what it is. Some responsibilities come with that. This is one of my forms. It's very simple. I make sure I put that. This right here is important because when consumers were messing up the stuff, they need to know that. This right here, very, very important. And right here is important too because I put the percentage that we agreed to. I might have 20 of these in my studio and need to keep track of what that is because this consignment rate might change it between dealers. I'm moving fast. I just drove from Montgomery County to get to you, and I'm dropping these pieces off, and that form. Take your time. Overpack, excessive clear tape, unlabeled bubble wrapping boxes. Come on, y'all, use strap ratchet and corners. Remember, if you pack that thing up and you take it to her to unpack for the show, she got to unpack another 100 pieces. A piece only requires 4 pieces of tape on each corner if you use bubble wrap. And if you use a stretch wrap, it snaps off. You get some cardboard corners if you want to deal with it. I hate them. I be falling in the van with them. They got bubble wrap corners you get for U-line. So between the bubble wrap corners and the stretch wrap, you can deliver to a show and it's protected and she don't have no drama. And you ain't got to worry about her losing your packing because that's how packing get lost, because you ain't put no name on the packing either. We love skipping bubble wrap. I got some bubble wrap in my corner, must be right there belong to some other people. Clear tape on the clear bubble wrap. I don't know about y'all, I'm blind already. I can't see up close. So I'm sitting there wrestling, and when I'm wrestling, I'm gonna be mad, right? So now I'm ripping it, and I defeat the whole purpose of even using bubble wrap. Buy some, that old-fashioned brown packing tape. Oh, it's a godsend, because you can see the difference. It's simple stuff, but this is the stuff that look at their faces. They laughing. They want to say this to you too. Vague, boring, or poorly updated bodies. Ask my send me a 2-sentence title.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you bothered to submit, and you sent me 2 sentences. Your digital twin, that first bio you did, and you put it online, it's still lying on you. You outgrown that. That bio's still out there, and they're still using it. So the one place you want to change your bio immediately on a regular and update is your website. Because your website will keep it current and it'll compete against those older bios. You don't want to be haunted by an old bio. When you move from one level to the next level, and you come to something like this and she break out my bio and she read that one when I had an afro, it's not going to apply. Poor or outdated headshots and relying on selfies. Y'all, I'm trying to be pissed, y'all. Y'all doing horrible. I do a photo session every 2 years, and I use multiple photographers. All that media I can use for multitudes of things. You have to invest in yourself. If I see another selfie submitted for a headshot, if I see another body when they ask for a headshot, do y'all know what a headshot is? It's your head. That's why they call it a headshot. I know I hate to say it like this, but I'm telling you, if I opened up my computer and showed you 100 headshots that I got, whoo, you got a nice one. Alma Roberts got a nice one. Give me name anybody else. Y'all ready for this?
For real?
Y'all know who that is. I ain't trying to blast him.
I do.
This is an actual photograph that was submitted. He took the time to submit and submitted this picture. Now, I don't know where he is. He's probably sexy man. But guess what? This is inappropriate.
Is it an artwork or is it a headshot?
No, it's a headshot.
That's a photograph. It's a headshot at least.
I've seen it.
Talk about TMI. But y'all understand what I'm saying. See, y'all laughing. Because your bio picture might not be much farther than this. This dude, he's nice picture. That was when he was 30 to do this 60. Come on, y'all. What the hell is happening? You gotta reach back to your favorite photograph? Look at it. Now that's cute. It's cute. That's all it is, it's cute. It's inappropriate. It's called a headshot. I ain't got time for mystery. Matter of fact, if you don't have a profile picture on Facebook, I remove you right away. Probably a pedophile or something. Stop playing, y'all. It's your identity. Part of your artwork is your identity. Y'all are beautiful people. You gotta be the cleanest group forever. Y'all telling me y'all plan that Photoshop when you get your hair and your nails in. You get that fresh haircut. Get it, put that phone down. That's real. These are active photographs. Lack of response time on opportunities to list application. to it. Why you need the application in the last day? Look, I'm not gonna lie. I do it too, but I'm good at it. When I get you what you're gonna get, you're gonna get it. But some of y'all just miss opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Or something comes up and somebody says, hey, can you do X? And you go think for 3 weeks. Prima donna. How much time does it take to say yes? Because I'm one of the ones people ask me for opportunity. I say yes right away, even if I can't do it.
Amen.
And I figure it out by the time it's time for me to implement it. But that's drive, that's dedication, that's discipline. We got to use those things. Come on, y'all. No content creation. Just hit on that a little bit. Not sharing event assets. What is that? They take time to pay designers to create that group show you win, which was a benefit. Which look at group shows for kids, little things, get all kinds of promotion. This is a wonderful time if you want to do shows, and especially affiliated with organizations. But you're not sharing the asset. Oh, so they're supposed to promote it. What happens if they promote it and every last one of us make sure we promote it? And you promote it because you're going to be in it. Oh, hey, what happened to sending it just because you know your girlfriend's in it? We're not maximizing social networking and what it's capable of. But that's that independent BS that we deal with. We're not thinking collectively anymore. And what I want to see happen is that artists just start thinking collectively. It makes such a difference when we are in the right line. I'm telling you. I got more, don't think I'm done. Operating on our website, we talked about that. That's trifling. Trifling. If you don't have the website by the end of 2024, just give all your supplies to your underprivileged because you are jobbing and playing games. Not creating enough work. Aim to be prolific. How many of you now are scared to do consignments because you might be peaceful here and then peaceful over there? And no, what happens when you can go, you know what, Brother Rasto, that went on be playing. Rasto can leave artwork everywhere in the world and still be creating work. I love guys like him. He's like me. I do that. Okay? Aim to be prolific. Mary Claggett, met her as a poor artist. She introduced herself to me as a poor artist. And I said, what's a poor? She was another one, didn't realize she was an artist. But prolific, girls in the basement, she's got a real job. So some of y'all playing part-time, she's an example. She's getting work done. Not visiting art museums regularly and not visiting fellow artists' art exhibitions. Two big harmful things that make you wonder what's wrong. You're in the art business, but you can't go to a museum. Can't get educated about something else. You know what? Where's your inspiration coming from? See, y'all inspiration coming from each other. And I see it all the time. So I see a body of work and I see influences in the work. Everybody's using my car fabric now. Everybody's doing collage now. It's vegan now. Everybody's splashing resin on top of their stuff to make it shine. I mean, I see some trends that's because y'all do like this, go out and do that. Does it need to shine necessarily? Is it serving a purpose? Now you gotta think about that because now we talked about the division between commercial and fine, but do you think fine artists are putting resin on their stuff? Now, if it's for protection, that's one thing. If to make colors pop, that's one thing. But does that mean that everything you do should be resin? We ain't talking about health yet because you're killing yourself. I have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I've been battling it since 2016. I blame all of the art supplies I've been using in the last 46 years because I didn't wear protected and all the other stuff. We can read the side of the cereal box and tell us too much sugar and salt, but we can't read art supplies because all of it will kill you. Operating without a website or an outdated website. We talked about that. Poor record keeping a paper trail. You got a situation going on with somebody, you know how you keep sending emails back on that one thread, you got that thread, and then y'all might get in an argument with somebody, some words have been there. But what's going to happen is you're going to have the date that something happened, and then you got your text, you got email, okay? You got the phone. Phone conversations are dangerous, but you can't try them unless you record them. But paper trail will save you every time. I've had paper trail save me in 2 situations where people were trying to get out. And all I had to do was CC an attorney's name. Trick that I learned. Sometimes I CC, Barack Obama just to see. Yes, sir.
Give us a quick example
Of what?
of the situation where,
All right, I'm doing a project in Park Heights. It's a mural project in Park Heights. It was a $20,000 grant. I was supposed to paint 15 breaks. I hate doing breaks, but I did it anyway. Went grant out to do that. Came up with a system where I get them all done. Got hacked. I was supposed to get $7,000 up front. They got a grant. They had to use the money quick, so they gave me my money right away. When it came time to do the job, they ran out of money. And they started saying, well, hey, we're going to let you slide with the money you got already. And I said, well, according to my contract, it says $20,000 for 15. Oh, well, you said we didn't want to do some work. We ran out of locations. These are the locations you gave me back in so-and-so. And I've never gotten a letter from anybody telling me that those locations are not available. Okay? I will fight this contract. I CC Alonzo. She gave me my money.
There you go.
And I bluffed her. Working without a contract or an agreement. Y'all, I don't know what that is. A contract is just what y'all said y'all was going to do. I'm going to see you Friday. I'm going to give you 3 pieces. This is what they cost, and this is what I'm going to get them back. You sign it, and I sign it. It's a contract. Contract laws or copyright law and other things. Would you agree? Person, yes, there is a voice component. Yeah, you can do some things verbally. But a contract is what, y'all? Come on, what, y'all can't write something? Y'all don't know how to write no more? Oh, you scared? Oh, you don't want to make waves? What is it? I'm trying to understand. I don't care if they got a contract, you should still have a contract. Whoever you're dealing with should have an arrangement. And if they say to you, hey, send me your contract, you really ain't got yourself. And you now sharing information, resources, or opportunities with fellow artists. Man, if I had $1 for each one time I've seen this. Ask yourself how involved you are with your artist community. I ain't saying like each other, we like each other already. Y'all not sharing opportunities? I ain't got nothing for none of y'all in this room. I ain't got nothing. Y'all may have got stuff for me, but I ain't got nothing for y'all. Okay? And you got to ask yourself, how many of those things will be multiplied? Okay? When they send me something, I send it out anyway. Even if I'm not in the show, I send it out. Not applying for the grants and residencies. I know you beat down, you're tired. You're tired of being rejected. It's such a competition, so it's stress. I'll forget the fact that I missed the deadline, but anyway. I'm not going to, I want to apply, then it's distracted and you're not participating. And not participating for me is the most damaging thing I see happening with this new time that we're in. Opportunities abound, but y'all ain't moving. I don't understand. Constipated, oh Lord Jesus. I don't know what to say about that. It's trying to search yourself and say why. It's just an opportunity. Do you want it? Because see, if you engage and you do it, you trump all them folks are still thinking about it. Just put it in. If you got a submissions folder, and every time you submit it somewhere is in that folder, when something comes to let you can even submit something at the last minute and still make it and not have to stop. So you got to come up with a system that works for you. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that last sentence. Pour into others what people have poured into you. If you're not being reciprocal, then you are a user. If somebody provides something for you, please provide it for somebody else. Make it your point. Just make yourself available. If a friend's doing a show and they need help, Victoria came and helped me scrub my studio down. She ain't asked me for a dime. And I can't tell you, Celicia used to go on the road with me. She didn't even care if she got paid. I don't even know if I paid her or not. But anyway. That's another chapter.
She under new management now.
Being self-centered or feeling entitled to help. That's what artists do. That's not real. Get over yourself. They don't know. Why do you need him? You got something nobody else got. You got a talent. Some people don't have that. And you still think you need help? Get over yourself. Ego is in the way. Being too competitive. I know some artists that will trample over another artist for an opportunity. Y'all know 2 or 3 people right now, and I got the names off your head, probably. They're around you, you see them, and they're like this. They're everywhere. Typically female, I'm not gonna get on that. You're only competing against yourself. Copying other artists. Stealing someone's style is not being inspired by a style. I'd rather you see someone, I really like what they did with that, and you go back and you reinvent it. But some people go, I can do that. No. I think there's a special place in hell for you. Top 10 fears of artists. I'm going to let y'all cruise through these, read them fast on initial way. We grapple with a range of fears that impact creative process and well-being. These are the common fears artists have. Fear of failure. Everybody in this room at some point has felt this. This is how you counter it. Failure is part of y'all. There's no such thing as failure. See, some of y'all are so perfect that you don't want to make a mistake. I feel sorry for you people, because you're a special group. There's a saying called perfection is to your own detriment. You know who you are. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting out the way and stop overthinking. Fear of rejection, come on. If you're not telling me you got those fears, there's something wrong with you. Now, I know everybody in this room ain't that way, but there's probably more than half of this room that has that hidden in them somewhere. Embrace rejection as a stepping stone towards success, and keep submitting your work and building resilience. And more you submit your work, you know, somebody asked me, I had a big fire in 1995 at my studio where I lost everything. They said, Poncho, what did you miss the most? And I said, I had a 3-inch binder of rejection letters. I called it my Bible. It had over 75 rejection letters from people like Oprah and some other folks where I tried to solicit my work. But I knew as big as I made that binder, the break is coming one day. So make sure you're not defined by rejection. Fear of blank canvas, all of y'all probably had that. How many of y'all suffering with that right now? I know I am. Brother John asked me, do I paint one painting at a time? Yes. I always paint one painting at one time because I have a short attention span. But I find that you divide yourself. If you're a perfectionist, you do one at a time. And you needle yourself, and you'd love to design it because it still ain't done yet. You could have got 20 paintings done. And you're denying the process of learning. The learning and perfection comes from repetition. Some of y'all don't want to work hard, so that's why you want to do the repetition. You got to check yourself to see which one it is. Begin with small marks or random strikes or something on a piece. Work them on one piece at a time if you can. Once you start, it's like exercise. It's hard to get started, and once you get started, you flow. Creativity is the same way. The blank canvas is one of those things. Fear of running out of ideas. You don't need to have to professionally come up with new ideas every day. That's a daunting task, but we do it. Each one of us do it on a regular, but guess what? We invest on, so we can't take credit for that either. Get out the way. Fear of not being original, that's a big one. What is original, y'all? Your brain is running right now, and you take a picture of my ugly shirt, you're looking at her hair, you're looking at her glass frame, your brain is picking up little snippets of stuff, and you don't know how it's gonna come out. That's why you're investing. Okay? Don't worry about being original. You got elements in here, got a different fingerprint for a reason. If you want likeness, it's because you're probably resembling somebody and it's not you. Okay. Very, very important. Fear of the art market. Now that's basically just means fear of the unknown and fear of things you haven't even researched. Some of y'all get in the comfort zone, you got this relationship, they're providing something to you, you go, and that's the extent of your exploration. You ain't looking for nothing deep, you ain't trying nothing deep, you ain't looking at you got like you just boxed in. opportunities are abound. Educate yourself on pricing and market trends so you don't have to go through all this. It's all about education. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Make sure you ask questions as well. Your artist family got more information than you can probably get anywhere. And if they don't know, then you keep asking. Fear burnout. This is a real thing. But this also starts tapping into that thing we talked about earlier about depression, and that plays a role with burnout too. When you get to that point where you're no longer balancing your well-being, or you might be too deep in the studio, all you're doing is painting. Being a creative is about a delicate balance. I have to make myself leave the studio every now. I have to make myself do something different. And when I'm not being creative, most of y'all got a creative cycle, don't know what it is. I paint 6 months out of the year, and the other 6 months of the year I'm doing left brain stuff. My boy over there in the corner, he's probably painting every day. I wish I could do that. I can't do that. I'm talking about you. You know I'm talking about you, right? So he's painting right now while we in here. Fear of public speaking is the biggest one. I would love to get a room full of artists into a room and make them all get up and do. I'm going to do that soon. We're going to do that.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Don't act like you got pneumonia that week. Don't come up with COVID that week. We're going to make you get up on the stage. We're going to make you say simple things like your name, what you do, what kind of art you do. I'm going to look at how you project it, ask you some questions, see how you come off. It's a part of the business, y'all. You got to educate. Okay? Practice speaking about your work. Attend art events, observe how other people handle interactions. Especially ask yourself, can I do a presentation on my work? That's all I'm doing. I'm sharing my information with you. How many of y'all got information that can be imparted right now? Think about it. Fear not meeting expectations. You know what? We are, that's the right brain plan. Gotta search yourself for that one. Fear of the unknown future. Now, some of us, the overthinkers are there. If you just create, you ain't got time to think about that. How many of you are overthinkers? Don't lie. If you got, how many of you turn off your phone at night? The rest of you are overthinkers. You plug it in, you skip, turn it off. This is what you need, y'all. This is just a short list. I'm going to change this list up here and there, but this is what you need. Scanning and imaging services. How many of y'all have a personal scanner that you use right now? If you don't have a scanner and imager, you need one. In the Baltimore area, there's Archive of Arts. He's the best guy in the region. He's done my work for the last 25 years. A graphic designer or Canva. Everybody needs a graphic designer. Remember, you are small what?
Business.
You're small agency, really. So if you can't do it, somebody's got to do it. Canva is the most powerful graphic design program I can think of that's user-friendly. If you can't use Canva, something might be wrong. You might have 2 left hands and don't know. Good program to learn how to use it if you don't know how to do graphic design. The secret to using template-based platforms is not to over-design them. They've been designed by somebody already. Just leave it alone and put your stuff there. Don't change the typefaces and change the color. No, drop, 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 drop. Done, walk away. Photographer and videographer, that's Spanish, right? But if you don't have a videographer, if you didn't shoot it, it didn't happen. How many of you had a solo exhibition and you didn't do video components of it? So that solo exhibition lasted for how long it was up. You got no life out of it. When I do a solo exhibition, I do a virtual exhibition of it, every video of it, and then I put those on my YouTube channel. They're live forever. If you didn't shoot it, it didn't exist. Someone secretarial skills. Every last one of you here got somebody to type 100 words a minute. I type 5 words a minute. I cannot type, but my son's mother, Belle, does all my typing. Off site. I send her something, she sends it back. If you can't type, don't let that hinder you. Social media specialists, well, you got to be your own specialist, but there are people that do that and they charge, so be aware of that. For those of you that don't want to do social networking, you might want to consider that. Sales staff or a salesperson. You know, when you're in that booth, 10 by 10, you plan for a week, you might not have that last little bit of juice to sell your work. Bring somebody to sell. Okay? Find somebody to sell. Road travel stat. How many of you have a driver and you come to you when you're on the road, getting up and down the road? You have, if you're on the road by yourself, particularly if you're a woman on the road by yourself, you need to reevaluate that right away. Find a cousin, find somebody that don't mind riding with you, that don't mind helping you set up, take the stuff out the car, because you will kill yourself if you don't. And I can't tell you the number of artists that have had crashes because they retired at night and didn't have somebody to cover them with drives. That was the very quote when you know when I see like a writer or editor. You got something called AI now. If you haven't tapped into AI, you need to wake up and find out about AI. Put Copilot on your computer and play with it. This thing right here is going to change everything you do. AI. But when it comes to writing, that is the key. You need a point of sale system of some type. Talk about that running charges, you know. Square has a terminal, you take this Bluetooth, you got all kinds of stuff. Make sure you're ready to take money from anybody at any time. Professional display panels, some of y'all got those heavy little square crates that's black and heavy and this big. Come on, y'all. Pro panels, if you see those artists that have those gray panels covered with carpet, and a lady can pick 2 of those up at one time. That's what you should have. That is the industry standard, pro panels. The panels that they use at the show and Neiman Marcus, those are pro panels. What's good about pro panels, if you get a set, you got another artist kind of set. If you need more, you got a whole display. I know 20 people that's got that same system. I have about maybe 30 sections of that. They cost about $100 per section, but you will get your money for it. All right. 10 for those of you that still like spending outside. I hate it. I can't stand outside, but I'm not trying to discourage you. But most shows now want you to be fireproof. So when you go get that Easy Up from Sam's Club, it's not going to be sufficient. You're going to have to go get a real tent. Easy Up does have a fireproof version. It won't be the one that's at the Sam's Club. Adequate booth lighting. Don't take that for granted. There's a day and there's a night. There's daylight savings time. You're going to be out there in the dark with your stuff. I know you got the little studio table lights to go click. Buy yourself some real lights that last forever, LED or halogen. Halogen particularly, I don't like. They'll burn the hell out of you and your customers.
We use cheap. So if you ever seen a mechanic's light, the long lights, hang them in there.
LED is a way
LED,
but you need a professional set of lights in case you haven't figured that whole thing out. Okay? The last one is important, the team of professionals. Sabotage police, y'all. Stop being paranoid about somebody stealing your work. And answer the question. Just stop it. It's not real. You're not that important. Get over yourself. Get over it. The burglar's not coming. Half of you is concerned about ain't even out there yet. You're not even winning that. You're going to bully yourself to find 0, and you still worry about somebody stealing your stuff. Get over yourself. Stop saying the art is expensive. Enough artists say that you never go shopping in the world. Where can you go get art supplies and make it last, and then you can make 10 times what your art supplies was? What's the word? Investment. Stop being a punk. Stop using that language to yourself. If you don't go to the art supply store and start scratching like a crackhead, you're in the wrong business. Something's wrong with you. I have to use discipline. That's why you know who I saw all the places like that all of a sudden. Stop treating your work as if it's a liability. Oh, you know, I gotta get rid of all this stuff. I got all this stuff in my house. Stop playing. Each one of those things is just $1. These are your children. Okay? Come on, have respect. Never talk down about how much work you got. Never make your work sound like it's a liability. If you make your work sound like it's a liability in your brain, you have already screwed yourself before you get started. It is a value, it is a blessing. You are a vessel, and that vessel is supposed to accumulate, and what you do, that is up to you. And depending on how much you create, it's going to be an issue, but it's a much more manageable issue than not having enough work. Okay? Stop devaluing the work to sell. Y'all doing it. A lot of y'all doing it right now. How many of y'all had the same price structure for the last 2 years? Don't lie. I see somebody walk up there and someone be embarrassed. How many of y'all don't even have a price structure? Okay, all right. We'll talk about that. Okay. Stop blaming other people for your lack of success. You know, I take care of my mother, so you blame the mom. Oh, my kids think I do so you blame the kids because you ain't busy. But my husband don't want that. We do it all the time. We just don't hear ourselves. Stop blaming other people for your lack of success. Stop believing that somebody stole your style. I know you walk through the show and you go, now, I know she worked with me. She's doing a little something right there. You know she's doing it. But don't let her character impede on your character. And get over yourself, because you probably got that from someplace else too. See, we adapt to a style and we think it's ours, and then when somebody comes close to it, we get like this, elbowish. But ain't nothing worse than me going to a show right now and seeing a sameness. All the technology we get. There's a sameness happening. So while y'all say y'all not copying, y'all lying. You're being influenced by stuff, you've adapted to stuff, and people are adapting to what looks popular. I know one person in here is responsible for a big group of copycat killers. This woman back here. People looking at her stuff, and they trying to imitate. I'm talking about you, Imani. A whole bunch of women stealing your style right now. But you just keep killing them. We're coming next. All right. Stop believing that sharing opportunity takes away from yours. Don't go, It sounds simple on the wall, but if you do it, you're guilty. Okay? Stop being aggressively competitive about art opportunities. We talked about that a little bit. And stop giving voice to your haters. You can be influenced by all the likes on your page. You can be influenced by somebody that says, I don't like those colors. You know, don't. Comes with territory. I enjoy flipping haters. And I've done that. In closing, be careful what you put into your universe. You know, I don't want to charge for my work, so what happens when you say it to your universe? You're not going to sell a damn thing. I know quite a few artists are stuck in that. They're so caught up in not selling, they're not clear about what they should be charging. They're harboring their own work, and so their defense is to say that to the universe. It's the most powerful thing you can say. Ask for abundance, ask for clarity to create, keep getting your third. People that haven't supported you will never reach your bank. Stop talking about these trifling people, y'all. You know, we levitate to the negative. If I don't hear you talking about that client that's bought from you, or your loyal people, then I don't want to hear about the folks that's not acting right. They're never going to make it to your bank anyway. Focus on your supporters. And that, my people, is the end of this presentation. Hopefully you got something for this. If you want to do the next session, make sure you come. It's more advanced work. This was more of a come to Jesus meeting so you can ask yourself some questions. Hopefully you'll go home and you'll be very, very honest about what we discussed today. It should change some things. You should have killed some practices tonight. You're not by yourself as you look around the room and see some of the faces. If you want my personal information, scan that code at the bottom of it. You'll see a spot that says add to my phone. You can get all of my information from that QR code.
Poncho,
We'll open up for questions and answers. How many more minutes we got? We open talk like that?
You have 2 minutes. We've got a question. Will the slides be available?
No. That's why you're supposed to be here. And the one for the next session won't be available. And the one for the next session won't be available. It's about participation, y'all. I think that what's happening is that Black Art Today will maintain this video. If you want to see it again, they'll make it accessible to you. But sometimes you got to be present. Next question. Y'all got to have some questions. I know it's a lot of information.
I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You were saying this game, I'm just calling myself an artist. Just call myself a new part.
It don't matter what part. I saw what you're doing. You're an artist. You're fighting that. God's not. Remember, God's looking at you while you're doing it, being confused.
Well, when I have,
Yeah.
but when you're saying entering into this world will hit me earlier, you were saying it's like a dog eat dog or like it's kind of tough.
It is.
So can you give an elaborate a little bit?
No, I don't, because I don't want to feel you hit with fear. I'm just letting you know this is not the kindest business. But if you are doing things relationship-based with people that you trust, and your work is being shown, and your work is being sold, you're being inspired to make more, then you're doing it the right way. If you're pulling to the side with concerns, it means it's probably because you're not in the game, you're on the sidelines. And you got to be in the game. This business is about participation. Any more questions?
I mean, just a second one.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the pricing, you said you'll elaborate a little bit on it?
Yes, pricing. All right, so we're going to play this game, right? When you do a piece, you in your gut know how much money you want to make for it, right? In your gut, you know, I can get 250 for this, right? So you're going to put the 250 on that because that's your gut price, right? But it should be what? 500 because you got to do what? You got to split 50-50 with the deal. So as a baseline, you want to take what you think your gut price is, and I challenge you to multiply it by 2 or 3. And that way you get to start charting a trajectory for your pricing. Have a piece that's very, very expensive in your booth at all times. Always have a $10,000 or $12,000 piece in your booth. Now I know you say, well, anybody will get, you don't know who's going to be able to do anything, but how can you make $12,000 if you never pay something that's $12,000? So make it a habit to always put one piece in your booth that's out of reach.
Meaning like in whatever show or exhibition that you're going to be.
Yes, ma'am. Your whole inventory right now, you should have a couple pieces that's $10,000 or $15,000. Just because you like a medium amount of money. And you might not want to sell it, but if you want to sell it, we'll put that price in. And you don't care if it never sells. You just want it. It's going to sensitize you to your pricing, and it's going to make you not price. Now, one of the games I used to play, when people would come in and try to buy from me, I would say that all of my work belongs to my son. In the early days, that insulated me from punking out and giving them their price. You got to come up with whatever it is to hold yourself accountable for your work. Remember, this is a what? Consignment business. You are the what? The commodity. And if you don't know how to value yourself, oh, this is going to be a very, very painful journey. Because the things we're talking about now and how you manage our business is how you manage yourself. You'll find interesting lines of connection with that. You got a question for the sign, Maria?
No. No.
Okay. All right, if we're done with questions, that's it for today. Hopefully you would have signed up for our next session. We're going to really get into the next session. We're going to show you some things that you'll be able to act on. It's going to really help you move to the next level. Okay? Thank you very much.
I do have something to say. Just a point of clarification. For the third session, do the participants have to participate in one of this session or the second session in order to participate in the third session?
No.
Okay.
The third session is a portfolio review. All of you in here, I went through a 4-year program where the students critiqued you, the teachers critiqued you. By the 4th year, you had thick skin. Most of us now are we don't understand criticism. We're so emotional. And so most of us have probably never had a real portfolio review. So I want to do something a little different. I have a portfolio coming through of 3 artists, 2 gallerists, and 1 art collector. And they're basically going to look at your work and tell you what's marketable, what's not marketable, what you need to work on, what you don't need to work on. All objective information you would never get and never would have gotten prior to this. So I hope you'll embrace it. Oh no, don't try to be tricky. Don't bring your phone. Don't bring your tablet. You either going to go to the store and buy you a traditional portfolio and put some stuff in it, or you're going to bring your 2 pieces of work. Okay? I don't want to see no electronic media. If you do digital art, still print it out. Let me see it. Because everybody going to look good to bid. All right, y'all. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.